it, and I'll show you, the remarks she made multiple times about Caitlin Clark's fans over the last couple of years. Let's take a look at this. The WNBA, and by the way, fans are not happy, and they're voicing their opinion loudly. The WNBA and CBS Sports announced a new long-term agreement on Wednesday that expands their partnership and will feature up to 20 regular season games annually on the CBS television network and Paramount.
CBS Sports has officially announced a new long-term media rights agreement with the WNBA, and the details are now fully public. The deal covers up to 20 regular season games per year on the CBS television network and Paramount+, making it the highest volume of WNBA games CBS has ever put on broadcast television. For the 2026 season specifically, all 20 games will air on CBS, with an expanded pregame, halftime, and postgame show featuring NBA Hall of Famer Lisa Leslie, broadcaster Naismith, former WNBA standout Renee Montgomery, and CBS Sports reporter Jenny Dell. The network released a statement from Executive Vice President of Programming Dan Weinberg describing the deal as a deepening of a long-standing relationship with the league, with language around amplifying the WNBA's momentum and delivering high-quality coverage to a broad audience.
And Paramount+. CBS Sports will air 20 games during the upcoming 2026 season, the most ever WNBA games for the network on broadcast television. The deal also includes an expanded pregame, halftime, and postgame show featuring Naismith Basketball Hall of Famer Lisa Leslie, former WNBA All-Star Renee Montgomery, and CBS Sports reporter Jenny Dell.
What immediately drew attention, however, was the promotional graphic accompanying the announcement. Notably, Caitlin Clark was not front and center despite being the most commercially significant player in the league right now. But the bigger conversation quickly shifted to Renee Montgomery's inclusion on the broadcast team, and the reaction from fans was sharp and immediate. Montgomery, who serves as a vice president and part owner of the Atlanta Dream, made headlines over the past 2 seasons for pointed remarks directed at Caitlin Clark's fan base.
CBS Sports reporter Jenny Dell, quote, "The WNBA's growth and cultural impact has never been stronger, and CBS Sports is proud to deepen our long-standing partnership with the league that continues to drive the evolution of women's sports." Dan Weinberg, the executive vice president of programming at CBS Sports, said in a statement, "With our entire schedule of games on broadcast television, we are broadening the league's reach and amplifying the WNBA's momentum with best-in-class coverage that reflects the excellence of it."
On her podcast, Montgomery and Company, she stated that many of Clark's supporters did not appear to genuinely follow the basketball, suggesting they were more interested in social media conflict than the actual game. She also made comments during Clark's rookie season drawing a direct comparison between Clark's fans and racist behavior, specifically referencing unverified claims about AI-generated images being sent to Angel Reese's family. No verified evidence for those claims was ever publicly produced, but the statements circulated widely and stuck in the memory of many fans.
With best-in-class coverage that reflects the excellence of his athletes and resonates with our fans. Well, okay. I don't know about that exactly. Here's the announcement. And here's their little graphic. The WNBA is back. Good God, it's a joke that Caitlin Clark's not front and center on this graphic, but okay, here we go. And right over here, that is Renee Montgomery right there.
The response to Montgomery's continued presence on CBS's broadcast team was swift and largely negative across social media. Fans pointed to her past remarks as disqualifying, with many calling on CBS to remove her from the lineup entirely. Several commenters flagged the inherent conflict of interest in having a partial team owner serve as an analyst covering the same league her franchise competes in.
Right over here, that is Renee Montgomery right there. Let's just go back a couple of years. What were Renee Montgomery's remarks against Caitlin Clark fans? She's got a podcast called Montgomery and Company Podcast. By the way, vice president, part owner of the Atlanta Dream, that just moved 2 games to State Farm Arena. I literally did that video 3 hours ago. Quote, besides
Others expressed frustration that the network appeared to be moving forward without addressing the controversy at all. The pattern being highlighted by critics is straightforward. A broadcaster made repeated derogatory characterizations of the fan base surrounding the league's most prominent player, and the network responsible for airing that player's games has chosen to keep that broadcaster in a prominent role. To many fans, that decision functions as tacit endorsement of what was said.
the bots, I don't even think some of Caitlin Clark's faux fans actually even watch her games, Montgomery said. And it doesn't even seem like it's about Caitlin anymore, the stands. Like, it doesn't even seem like they care about what goes on in the basketball aspect. They're just on social media ready to fight, okay? I mean, wow, okay. Then she goes on to say,
Montgomery's Atlanta Dream also recently moved a pair of home games to the larger State Farm Arena, a business decision that directly benefits from the same mainstream popularity she appeared to undermine with her earlier comments. Fan reactions ranged from firm refusals to watch CBS's coverage to more measured criticism focused on the conflict of interest angle. The general sentiment was clear: people have not moved past those remarks, and the announcement brought all of it back to the surface.
Then she goes on to say she wasn't singling out their Caitlin Clark's fans. Well, that's exactly what you did. And it was not the first time that she did it. Let's flash back right here, because she jumped in and called Caitlin Clark fans racist. The scrutiny started when the former WNBA player and current Atlanta Dream vice president, part owner, and investor Renee Montgomery trying to expose Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin.
A noticeable split has been forming within the Indiana Fever fan base, and it has been growing steadily since Stephanie White's arrival alongside a wave of new front office personnel. The tension is real, and it is coming from multiple directions. The Fever faithful can be broken into rough groups.
Expose Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark's fan base for their treatment of Sky rookie Angel Reese during the most recent episode of Montgomery and Company. Now, what she said went down in lore from that rookie season. I mean, fans are still talking about it. Fans are still saying it when they decide to make fun of people that try to brand the Caitlin Clark fan base as racist.
There are the lifelong Indiana supporters who backed the franchise through every era, the fans who followed Caitlin Clark over from Iowa, and then a broader national audience that has rallied around Clark specifically and represents arguably the largest and most vocal segment of the three. That last group carries a different set of expectations, one shaped by years of watching Clark compete at the highest level in college. Losing or even underperforming does not sit well with that audience.
When I say great divide, when I say there's trouble behind the scenes, there is major trouble. As I make my videos and as I cipher through the comment section, I keep seeing the same agenda pop up. And that is fans demanding change and demanding restructure of the Fever front office. Now, why do they demand that? Some fans from Indiana, like I say, might believe that the front office is great. They damn near made it to the WNBA.
The tension surfaces most clearly in how fans are responding to front office decisions, and one move from last year's offseason keeps coming back up. When Temi Fagbenle was left unprotected and subsequently taken by the Toronto Tempo in the expansion draft, the reaction was swift and harsh. Fagbenle had functioned as Indiana's primary rim runner, a player who could attack the glass, finish above the contact, and help open up the floor for others.
From Indiana, like I say, might believe that the front office is great. They damn near made it to the WNBA finals last year. The team has been trashed for the last 5 years prior to Stephanie White getting here, prior to Caitlin Clark getting here. We can't forget those 8 losing seasons that Kelsey Mitchell had. Now, we're fast forward. When it comes to Caitlin Clark fan base around the country, we used to Caitlin Clark winning. Now, Caitlin Clark has not won a national championship, but she went to back-to-back natty finals. Now, with that being said,
Losing her felt like a clear misstep to a large portion of the fan base. Now, with reports circulating that the Fever may attempt to bring Fagbinley back, the implication is hard to ignore that the decision to let her go in the first place was a mistake the organization is now trying to quietly correct. That kind of reversal chips away at confidence in the front office's judgment.
And say it. We have to look at the front office because there was a pivotal moment and a pivotal time where things they was doing last year with the roster was very, very questionable. Now we fast forward, right? Well, no, we ain't gonna fast forward. We're gonna rewind back to around this time last year. Whenever we had that WNBA expansion draft, right? People face hit the floor when Timmy Figbin-Lay was let go. That was the ultimate rim runner for the
General Manager Amber Cox has been largely absent from public view. Kelly Krauskopf has been even harder to locate. No social media activity, no public statements, nothing addressing the fan base or the direction of the roster since well before the new year. For an organization navigating one of the most scrutinized off-seasons in its history, that silence registers as a problem for a lot of supporters.
Was let go. That was the ultimate rim runner for the Indiana Fever. The Indiana Fever had somebody that can go up, get the rebounds, get buckets, and make her own shots and help facilitate the floor. We lost her to the Toronto Tempo. Now, we did a video right before this one, letting everybody know that the Fever could possibly be going back to get Timmy Figbin-Lay. Now, what do that mean? That mean to tell me that they are admitting that they made a mistake. Now, what do that do to the Great Divide? Okay.
A year ago, the front office was considerably more visible. Press conferences, public-facing communication, a general sense of active involvement. That presence has evaporated, heading into a period where clarity and confidence from leadership would carry significant weight. Searching for any recent front office news related to Indiana produces almost nothing current.
Great Divide. Okay, that shows us that they question the decisions they making, which caused fans to question the front office. Now, with that being said, General Manager Amber Cox really has been quiet. And speaking of Amber Cox, we haven't heard from Kelly since July. Kelly has yet to come back to social media, address the fans, and pretty much tell us something in regards to the team. We can type her name in right now, and there's nothing to pop up. Kelly is nowhere.
The available information dates back to 2024. There are no announcements, no stated plans, no signals of a structured approach to what comes next. With the expansion draft finalized and free agency about to open, the absence of any visible strategy being communicated externally is striking.
Type her name in right now, and there's nothing to pop up. Kelly is nowhere to be found. Now let's type in the Indiana Fever front office, because last year the Indiana Fever front office was very vocal. This year we haven't really been seeing anything. We haven't been seeing any press conference. We haven't even seen Lynn Dunn say too much, and Lynn Dunn was in some heat her damn self last year. Let's head on over to X to see what the climate is looking like for the Indiana Fever front office, because I'm telling you right now, it's a whole lot of nothing.
Fans who were already skeptical are becoming more vocal, and the commentary circulating online reflects real frustration rather than routine criticism. The argument being made by a growing number of supporters is straightforward: the talent on the roster, Clark in particular, is operating at a level that demands a championship caliber supporting structure. The front office's job is to build that.
Fever front office, because I'm telling you right now, it's a whole lot of nothing going on. Now, we did this story the other day, right? This was a video I made. We're gonna skip past him. It says Caitlin Clark golfing cameo. Nothing about the Indiana Fever front office, bro. Nothing. Pacers assistant GM Kelly Cristobal is returning. This was in September of last year, right? Preparing us for the storyline, right? As of right now, there is nothing coming out about the Indiana Fever front office. This was in November of 24.
Whether it is a failure of communication, a failure of execution, or simply a lack of urgency that does not yet have visible consequences, the disconnect between what the roster could be and what the organization has visibly done to get it there is a legitimate talking point. Stephanie White's coaching ability has also entered the conversation, though that debate is still in early stages. The roster uncertainty heading into free agency, combined with the Fag Benley situation and the broader front office silence, has some factions questioning whether the right leadership is in place at multiple levels.
About the Indiana Fever front office, this was in November of 24. All of this information was in 24. People is saying that they're sick of this front office. It's Sergeant Fever, Senior Director of Health. Like, there's nothing that, oh man, I was so fat, I lost a lot of weight. But there's nothing that I've seen to come out to indicate to me that the Indiana Fever front office has a plan to revamp this team and make this team something special. Everything that's coming out about this team is from 2024.
Free agency and the expansion draft results will either quiet those concerns or amplify them. The next few weeks represent a clear opportunity for Pacer Entertainment and the Fever front office to demonstrate that a real plan exists. Without visible action, the skepticism from a fan base that has grown dramatically in size and expectation level will continue to build.